recording. All right, if we all accept that we would like to be recorded, thank you for participating. Okay, so when it comes to the work with me's and so on, you guys make them priorities in your schedule, right? Make sure you're putting them in as if they're like a doctor appointment. And I know for me personally, I can easily be like, oh crap, this is going on. I'll forget it. I don't need to jump on the work with me's, right? But work with me's are so good for your business. And I know for me personally, they really light my fire up. And I've said this before too, that there are times when I'm on the work with me's, you guys, that I'm not even doing anything that the person is saying to do, but I'm on there, maybe creating content. Maybe I'm just listening because I need to get poured into for that moment. Maybe I'm working on follow-ups, even though they're doing a full round of IPAs because I already did my IPAs for the day, so on and so forth. So how many of y'all get on work with me's? I want you to drop it in the chat. How many of you guys get on work with me's? What's your favorite thing about a work with me? Drop it in the chat, especially for newbies who maybe have not gotten on a work with me before, who are like, oh, I don't know. Or for somebody who's like, I would like to, but I don't really make them a priority. Let them know what it's helping you with, because somebody might be like, oh my gosh, like, I need more creative ideas. Oh, you know what? Like I've been really lacking in accountability, and you know what? Accountability. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? So let everybody know what is going on. Yes, Samantha hosts, like, I feel like she hosts all of them. She's so good. I love Sam. So let us know what you get and what you take away from the work with me's, and read that, you guys, because that's really going to help you in your business. I know for me personally, I love the spin that people put on IPAs, because I think sometimes IPAs can be so mundane and they can be just like kind of boring. And I feel like when I get on a work with me, I'm like, wow, they just seem fun again, right? I have fun with them. So that is awesome. So I'm glad we're sharing that. Rochelle just popped in from the waiting room. So I'm going to mute myself once, wherever she is. Rochelle, do you know how to unmute yourself? Can you do that? I'm not the best host.
Yes, good morning.
Thank you. Okay, bye.
Thank you for starting that. I was telling, I don't know if you told them, but literally as soon as I tried to open this, my computer told me I needed to update the app in order to join the meeting. So fashionably late, as always. This time it was not my fault. Did you get started at all, Christina, or are we ready to like jump in?
We are ready to jump in. I was actually having everybody drop in the chat, I don't know if you can see it, what they love about work with me's, what they take from work with me's to share with others who maybe haven't gotten on work with me's, who've fallen off the track with work with me's, just so we can all kind of, rally up with the work with me. So that's what we were doing.
Perfect. I love that. And then did we go over, is this anyone's first time batching? If so, I'll explain it really quick. If not, we'll just go ahead and jump right in. This new updated, I don't know if you've had to update recently, but this looks a lot different. No? Okay, so we do have some people. Okay, so super quick, let me explain what this is. Okay, so this is just an opportunity for you to batch your content, to batch some content for the upcoming week. I know that especially when you're new, you guys, it can be super intimidating and difficult to kind of like come up with different things to post and to talk about throughout the week that have to do with like the products and the opportunity in your business and all of that. So this is us. I've got 5 topics here. So it's kind of like a work with me if you've been on one of those already. I'm going to give you a topic sentence. And then just like when you were in high school and you were given a topic sentence and you kind of like formed an essay off of that, I just want you guys to free write off of the topic. And that way you do have something throughout the week, right? And you don't have to use these every single day. But they are there for the days where, life gets busy, you aren't feeling creative, like whatever happens, you have these to use throughout the week. Okay, so this is helping you to come up with content. So we're gonna go ahead. Okay, we're already recording. All right, so for the first one, you guys, something you didn't expect. Okay, and again, as always, if you're new, these can go products or opportunity. We will always tell you guys, like, kind of keep that 80-20 rule when it comes to your content. So 80% you, 20% your business. Keep in mind, going through these are typically going to be your business posts. Okay, so you're going to want to do things that are more like lifestyle and you outside of these throughout the week. But as we go through these, a lot of these you can take product or business side. So something you didn't expect, maybe you didn't expect the products to work. If you've tried the gut health duo, so the biotic imbalance, maybe you didn't expect that to work, and you can take like a before and after photo, the 12-hour difference, and post about that one of the days. Maybe you didn't expect this to pay for something that it did, right? Like gas or a vacation or whatever. Maybe you just didn't expect, like when you joined, for it to turn into what it has, or you didn't expect to gain like the community that you have. So think about something that you did not expect, and let's kind of free write on that. And I'm going to go ahead and set a timer for 5 minutes. As always, you guys, please, whatever you're talking about, drop it in the chat, because I know that some people do have a hard time coming up with things when there's like, I feel like we feel pressure when we're on these to get it done in 5 minutes. So I love when people share what they're talking about. Okay, I'm going to mute myself. Also, if you're new, I know some people put pen to paper when we do these. Personally, I just do it right in the notes section on my phone. So I just wanted to share that in case you are new and you weren't sure like how people do this. Most of us just do it right on our phones so that it's easy to pull from throughout the week. All right, there's the topic on that. Yes, if you're just hopping on, we just did the first one. We're about to move on to the second one. And something I want you guys to keep in mind, and if you're on these every weekend, you've heard this a million times, but just for those who are new, you will not always finish every single topic like live right here, right now, right? Like sometimes, like for example, right now, I just typed out as much as I could and then I kind of hit a roadblock. I don't force anything else to try to come out. I kind of just move on and I can go back to that later, right? If you like are thinking of like you've got a million things going on up there when you hear these topics, like bullet point some things out, just some different, like kind of brain dump into this and then come back to it later. You don't always have to finish it. Don't put so much pressure on yourself to do that, because I feel like when we do that, that's kind of where we lose the quality of our content, right? So you do not have to finish it A to Z while we're on right here, right now. Okay, next, what's something you'll never take for granted? Maybe it's your 3 steps and how fast they work in the morning. Maybe it's the weekly paychecks or the community, something that this opportunity has created for you. Maybe it's the time freedom, the financial freedom. Maybe, you know, if you're like me, you didn't used to be able to take your kids out for ice cream because it was something that you can't afford. And now that, I mean, you guys have probably seen me talk about it a million times. Being able to take my kids out for ice cream dates whenever we want is something I will never take for granted, because again, it's something that we didn't used to do. So be able to do. So this can be anything, something that you will never take for granted. All right, there's the timer on that one. So moving on, we've got 3 more before we go into the planning. So for this next one, I want you to just share your story. Go back to your day one. And even before that, like, how did you find these products? Like, how did you come across them? How were you feeling before you found these products? When you did come across them, like, what were your thoughts? Were you skeptic? Did you come from another company? If you did, why? What made you switch companies? If you're new to MLM, like this is your first time in a network marketing company, what made you want to try it? Okay, so this is just literally sharing your story. All right. Next, I want you guys to finish the sentence, I get it. Okay, I get it. You're skeptic. I get it. You don't want to be one of those girls. I get it. You're afraid the products aren't going to work, like whatever it is, but finish the sentence, I get it. When you're doing this one too, think of something that was like a limiting belief of yours or something that you were skeptic about, like prior to starting or when you first started. Like, just to name a few off the top of my head, like I know a lot of people think that you have to have a lot of followers in order to be successful. So that could be something that you do. People think that you have to have like a super interesting life, that you have to have all of these, like this big circle of friends and family who are going to be the only ones to support you. Maybe if you thought it right, you thought it was worth the money, you weren't sure if it was worth the money up front, like Holly just said, there's all kinds of, just think back to something that you, like I said, was a limiting belief of yours, like something that you were hesitant about, and I would run with that. All right, the timer's about to go off on that one. And personally, I took that one like on the product side and I took it in the direction of like a burnt out mom. So I talked about how like I get it, like come the end of the day, you're exhausted, like you're mentally drained, you're full of mom guilt because you didn't have like enough energy to keep up with your kids throughout the day, you're too tired to cook dinner, too tired to pick up, like all these things. I'm like taking it way back to how I was pre-Thrive, right? And I'm sure a lot of you can relate to this. Like I used to go to bed with so much mom guilt because I just didn't have the energy to do the things I felt like I should have been doing for my family and my kids and my house throughout the day. So I'm talking about that, kind of relating it back to that, and then talking about how the products have helped pull me out of that and how I'm now like a motivated mom. I'm productive. I'm spending time with my kids. I'm getting down on the floor and I'm playing with them. I'm taking them places, like that sort of thing. So that's the direction that I took that. This is our last one, and then we're going to slide into the planning. So this last one, I want you guys to talk about what your favorite part is about what we do. What's your favorite part about this business, about sharing? Like, what is your favorite thing? And it can be something like that you do like physically, like maybe you love just like getting on like the weekly Zooms and being a part of the community, or maybe like you love helping people to feel better. You love helping them like start their health journeys. Maybe you love the fact that there's like this opportunity to create like weekly residual income. What is your favorite thing about what you do? All right, so that wraps up the batching portion of it. So I'm about to pass it off to Christina, but something I want you guys to do as we're planning is block off time, like truly make it a priority to be creating new like story content. If you're like me, I know that is something that I will admit I'm bad about creating new story content. I'm somebody who I reuse a lot of the same stories, and I'm kind of like realizing that I need to start creating new. And so two birds, one stone, you guys block off time this week to go in and at least like 2 to 3 of these different things that you just came up with, turn them into story slides. Okay. All it takes is you breaking it into like 3 to 4 like max different sections, right? And boom, you have a story. Like it's so simple, but it's something a lot of us just like don't do. We just like put it off and we don't do it. Exactly. It takes all of 5 minutes, but I feel like in our heads, we think it's going to take so much longer. We overcomplicate it, at least for me. And then it gets to the point where I don't do it. And then I'm like, what the heck, Rochelle? Like you haven't. So definitely put that into your planning. Use these for stories, use them for lives, for reels, be looking at them as we go through the planning and be like, okay, which one of these can I like 1 to 2, 2 to 3, what can I use for like a reel? Okay. Like if I talked about the products, right? The one where I talked about mom guilt, I can pull that one and be like, okay, I'm going to create a reel that's around mom guilt that I can use this caption for. Boom. And then put it in on the day that you're going to talk about it. So Christina, I'm going to go ahead and pass this portion off to you, my love.
All right, guys, I want to kind of add to what Rochelle just said. If you have a post or a reel that does really well, meaning people are in your inbox from it, or you have people asking info, those are the perfect ones to change into story slides. Right? Start to track that kind of stuff. If you have posts that are doing really well, like I started re-scrolling reels that did well for me, meaning that got people in my inbox from months ago. Guess what I'm doing? I'm saving them. I'm copying the link. I'm taking it to the Instagram thing, even though I'm right in Instagram, taking off the water link, finding a new trending sound that I want to put it to, and I'm repurposing that. Because if it already did well for me once, especially like my before and after ones, or ones where I'm really getting deep about the products or the business, it's going to do that again, right? Or if you have a post, like I did a post about collagen yesterday. Now I went live in my stories and talked about collagen, but my post on Facebook got me a lot of people in my inbox asking about collagen. So guess what? This week, I know that same post with that same picture, I'm going to make into story slides. Some of y'all are overcomplicating it, thinking you have nothing, but you're not even watching some of your own content, realizing you already have winners right there, right? So think about that kind of stuff. And maybe you don't want to repost it so close together. So guess what? Like maybe the collagen one, I'm going to put on my notes like that. I want to do that for next week because I just dropped it this week. So my audience already saw it. So next week I want to drop it. This is where Facebook memories are perfect for you too, right? Like Rochelle said, this is where pen and paper really come in handy, you guys, or having your notes. Like for example, like the post that I put out yesterday, I moved it into a different folder. So once I have everything in a, what I call posts folder, which is when we do our batching here, right? And then once I use it, I move it. So I use it and I move it, and wherever I move it depends. Maybe I'm moving it into create story slides. Maybe I'm moving it into used posts. Maybe I'm moving it into reuse. You know what I'm saying? Wherever you want, find what's going to work for you. But sometimes I think we try to think that every day we need to be on coming out with new stuff all the time, when really you already have stuff. Like I was going through my notes. I don't know if you guys all do your batching or anything before we were even doing batching, before my Facebook memories can even remind me. I was going through old posts in my one folder that's called used posts. And I was looking at it like, oh my gosh, this is perfect. Like, this is perfect. I can reuse this. I can add a spin to this. I can take just this middle section out and run with that, right? So if you guys are finding yourselves like, you just don't know what to talk about, Those are some places. So for planning for this week, you guys, these are some things that I like to think about that maybe will help you too. How many times do I want to talk about trials in my stories? I plan my story content right now because we just batched 5 days of content, right? So you can decide, are you going to make it into a reel? Are you going to make it into a post? Do you want to go live about it? Like Rochelle said, we have 5 topics and you kind of can fill in the differences, right? So I like to really right now when I'm about to mute myself, I really like to plan out my stories. How many times do I want to talk about trials? What does my trials like? What does it look like? One day, am I going to do before and afters and then offer trials at the end? Maybe one day I'm going to go in my stories face to face talking about the products. When's the last time you really explained what your 3 steps is instead of just saying, this is my energy? This is what helps me keep up with my kids, right? I'm guilty of this too, you guys. When's the last time you told people that you have like 17 different shake flavors? Because you never know, somebody like fall's coming and somebody might have just went through the Starbucks drive-through and got a caramel frappuccino. And they're like, wait a minute, they have salted caramel or caramel or however y'all say it. I don't know if there's like different, English, whatever. But do you know what I'm saying? So, have you guys said to your network that you have vegan options? Because a lot of people are afraid to ask and a lot of people just assume that you don't. So have you ever said to them, hey, if you want to get on this 3-step, I got vegan options too, y'all. Vegan, regular, you pick it, right? These are the types of things I think that we think, well, they already know. We've been saying it, but people are not paying attention until they're ready to pay attention. So we do, what we say is on repeat. So find, like Rochelle said, 100 ways to say the same thing, right? So trials, what do you want those to look like this week? Opportunity, right? Rochelle just said, making new story slides, all that. But when's the last time you went face to face and talked to your network in your stories about the opportunity? E60 challenge. Are you doing the E60 challenge? Talk to people about it. Take them with you along for the journey. That's always a really good one, you guys. If you're not doing the E60 challenge, I really suggest tomorrow's a beautiful day to start. Hey, you could even start today, but sometimes you like to plan. Okay, I'm giving you like less than 24 hours. Okay, plan that, get on it. Guess what? I've been sharing that and I've been doing it. Have I been doing the best at it? No, because this week was a very hard week for me with my MS, but I was sharing like, hey, I took a rest day. I stretched. That was my workout. So I'm owning up that my workout for the one day was just stretching. Right? So people then are going to look at that and be like, oh my gosh, this isn't like that 75 hard. I don't got to be crazy running outside in the heat. Like she stretched. I could stretch. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, even though for me, I felt like, oh my gosh, I'm such a failure. I didn't even get a workout. I was like, no, I'm going to stretch my body because that's just as good. And I was looking up health benefits to stretching so I could, make myself feel good. But do you see what I'm saying? Take them along for that journey. So many people, you guys are struggling. I was talking to a mom. I just went on a ladies' weekend and then I'll shut up and mute myself. But I just went on a ladies' weekend and she was saying to me, she was like, Christina, I just feel like this summer we got out of all habits. We got out of all habits. She's like, I feel like I'm just struggling to like even just get a little healthy meals on the table for us. We're just running around crazy. I feel like I can't even remember the last time I put myself first. Think about that's all our E60 challenge is. Put yourself first, take 10 minutes, listen to a podcast, read a book. Stretch, focus on some healthy meals, maybe just add some extra veggies, right? Those are some really good things. You guys start getting out there and sharing that you're doing this. And I started even reaching out to my past customers and was like, hey, I'm starting this E60 challenge. You want to do this with me? This is what it entails. And that's it, right? 60 days. Yes. To a better you, baby steps. Okay. Content. When are you going to plug in? What day do you need to do your content? Making reels, getting new photos, things like that. So I'm going to mute myself right now, you guys, and take the time to really set up your week. You should already have your Zooms in there. We talked about how important work with me's are. The schedule never changes. So you should know that kind of stuff. You already know your goals for the month, right? You already know your goals for the month. What do you want this week to look like? Start doing those like little baby things to get you there. So I'm going to go ahead, drop any questions that you have in the chat, but let's plan our week from stories to when we're going to use the content we just batched, how we want to use it, what we want the week to look like. I'm gonna repeat what this was in the from the chat just so that the replay viewers can hear it because I love it. Something that I do, I don't know if it'll be helpful for anyone, but I choose one new thing or product to mention that week. So like collagen things, the bars, sleep line, etc. That way I can really focus on something and get all my options out there to people a little at a time. I love that. So for example, you guys, just kind of throwing some ideas out there. So I really love makeup and hair. You wouldn't be able to tell right now, but I really love those things. So I plan on starting to go live more and doing lives, doing my makeup. And when I'm going to be doing my makeup, I'm really going to talk about gut health and how my skin was struggling before. And it wasn't the makeup and it wasn't the skincare, it was my gut. Right. So many times people, like maybe you're somebody that loves makeup too, and you're like, well, I don't know, I don't want to go do my makeup. How do I bring the products in? Your skin is probably more hydrated because of these products, especially if you're taking the collagen. Your gut is better, so your skin is better. Where so many times people think it has to do with skincare and it has to do with their makeup, which yes, it does. Those things do matter, but I never changed my skincare, nor did I change my makeup, and my skin is 10 times better. So I'm going to start going lives and doing my makeup and talking about those things, right? There is something that you're really into that you're like, you can share about. Maybe you're really into organization and all that kind of stuff. And you can talk about how you don't have the brain fog. So you can be like organizing queen, right? Or you're like a coupon person and you're like, you guys, I used to like, I love couponing. It's so much fun, but I was always so exhausted, right? Like, you know how we say, go find your people are out there, right? You don't have to be just a mom. You don't have to be just, anything like that. What are those other things that make you that these products help you do, right? Like my makeup wears better because of these products. My clothes, I feel better in my clothes even before I lost the weight because I just felt better on the inside and I'm a fashion guru. So guess what? When I'm telling people, oh, I just got this new tank top, I'm so excited to wear it. Like I can't wait to rock it because y'all, I feel so good in my skin. So I can't wait to rock these mom jeans or these new boots that I got or whatever because about the products, right? One thing that I asked my audience, you guys, which is so weird, but it's cool. Like I love watching when people open up their packages on their like anything they buy, like shopaholics. Like I love watching them open their package and see what they got, not even for the joy of me wanting it, but wanting to watch them open it. So I asked my audience, like, hey guys, would you like to see some of the packages I get and the things that I'm buying? And my poll box was probably one of the biggest poll boxes that I've ever gotten people responding to. People want me to open my packages. And guess what, you guys, I started opening my packages. Not that I shop a lot, but I started opening my packages and I got so many new conversations. I know y'all shop. I know y'all are going, maybe ask people, hey, would you like to see my grocery hauls? Because I'm really good at I'm really good at meals on a budget. Y'all want to see what I got? I guarantee you people are going to be like, oh my God, yes, please, because I suck at budgeting. Right? Those types of things, you guys ask your audience. Something that Paul said on a recording yesterday was think about how different Christmas can look this year if you buckle down now. Guys, this is where it starts. It starts with getting serious, getting organized, and planning. Rochelle, always words of wisdom, man. Yeah. Woo-woo. It's the truth, you guys. Christmas is just a few months away, right? It's wild and it's crazy. Take your planner, have it be your accountability partner. Take a piece of paper, right? Start writing things down, start marking things off. So at the end of the week, when you're self-auditing, you're truly able to audit yourself, right? You're able to look and say, wow, I really actually didn't. Oh my gosh, Suri, I'm not talking to you. You're really able to see what you did, right? Start going back and watching old videos, old training videos, plan for that kind of stuff. The thing is, you guys, I wish I could show you how to plan your week. And I do, I show you, but only you can figure out what works best for you with planning. And the only way to do that is to plan, fail, plan, fail, plan, fail, plan, fail, so on, so forth. I've been doing these now for well over a year. When I first started, I didn't even know what the heck I was doing, you guys, and I still fail. Last week, I failed at my planning, but guess what? I learned from it. So this week I can become better with my planning. Some of y'all just like throw the whole planning part to the wind and you're like, well, I batched, I'm good. But then you're wondering why you're not where you want to go. You guys, you have to plan. Right? You have to plan. Another thing, two things that I'm going to let you guys go. Planning is something, you guys, that like Rochelle said, you're not going to finish it just in this little time together. You're going to then plan throughout your entire week. So don't feel like, oh my gosh, I didn't really get that much done or whatever. Like you'll get it done. So for example, I write down everything I want to make sure to hit: trials, opportunity, E60, how many times, and then I go plug it in on my days and then I mark it off. And then this gets transferred into my planner. So this is like my messy piece of paper because I am somebody that if things are messy, I'll piece out of it. So if my planner becomes a hot mess express, I'm like, too much, I can't, it's chaos. So I plan, have all the mess on this piece of paper. Then I sit down with my planner and I commit. And I say, this is what I'm doing on this day. That is what I'm doing on that day. And I mark things off. My planner is my accountability partner. Another thing, you guys, and this is the last thing I'm going to leave you at, show up as that person you want to be, that business owner you want to be. I was telling my friend, obviously I was telling her my goals for my business and where I wanted to be financially, where I wanted to be team-wise, all these things. And I said to her, I don't show up that way. I said, I had a big reality check and I said, I don't show up as that person. And she said, okay, well, what can you do to start showing up as that person? She's not even in network marketing, y'all. I talked to my best friend about this kind of stuff. Talk to your husband, talk to somebody. She challenges me. And I said, okay, well, I can do this. I can do that. This is really something I can get better at. That is something I can get better at. Right? Sometimes it's the habits, y'all. It's not even like the other things. It's your habits that you need to change. And so she said, all right, cool. I'll hold you accountable. And this is what I want to do in my life because she wants to get better at X, Y, and Z. And I said, okay, perfect. I'm going to hold you accountable. Has nothing to even do with the business. Go find somebody that's like that for you, whether they're in the business or not, and get real with yourself. That was a reality check for myself. Right? Being self-aware, you guys, is so huge. So I hope you guys all had an amazing time batching and planning with us. I hope that we don't have to go through the changing of our Zooms like Rochelle had to go. I hope there's no update for me because I don't like change. But if you guys have any questions, you always know Rochelle and I are open books. I'm Christina Tammy. For those that are new, I know it doesn't show my name, but you can hit us up in the chats. You can hit us up in just the DMs. If you ever have any questions, you guys, please let us know how we can help you because we are here to help you grow just as much as you guys help us grow. So I hope you guys all have a great week. The recording will be on my YouTube channel as soon as I can get it uploaded, you guys, and then I'll drop it into the team pages, but you can find it on there. So I'll talk to you guys all next week. Bye.